Becoming a leader for the first time is exciting, but it's also one of the most challenging transitions you'll ever make in your career. It's not just about stepping up, it's about learning to lead others, manage responsibilities, and avoid those common pitfalls that derail so many new leaders. So today we're going to talk about the dark side of leadership and the 5 common mistakes new leaders make and how you can avoid them to become the kind of leader your team needs. So let's start with the most common trap that new leaders fall into. Trying to be everyone's friend. You've just been promoted and you feel this pressure to keep your team happy and on your side. So you go easy on them, avoid tough conversations, and maybe even bend a few rules to stay popular. The problem with this approach is that it undermines your authority and confuses the boundaries between being a leader and a peer. Your team will start to see that you're more of a buddy than a boss. And when the time comes for hard decisions or constructive criticism, they're not going to take you seriously. So here's your solution. You don't have to sacrifice likability for leadership. Be approachable and open, but establish clear boundaries from the start. Respect is earned when you set expectations, hold your team accountable, and show that you're willing to make tough decisions for the good of the team. Your team doesn't need another friend, they need a leader that they can trust. We lead a program here at Executive Career Upgrades called the Mastering First 100 Days program. The common mistake I see for every single leader after we help them get that 6-figure or multiple 6-figure job is they're not on the same page, right, with their boss or their team. Right? So we talked about it a little bit about, you can't be their friend, but what I want to focus on just for a quick second, we talked about establishing, right? How do we establish this relationship? What I found to be most successful is we call it an initial counseling statement. So we go over like, this is exactly what I expect of you. So the more clear you can be on your exact expectations, what right looks like, the more you're going to save your time and avoid some of these uncomfortable conversations if you don't do that. Common mistake number 2, micromanaging. New leaders often think that in order to show that they're capable, they need to control every single detail. So you've been promoted because you're good at what you do, right? So it's tempting to oversee every task to make sure it's done exactly how you would do it. But here's the reality. Micromanagement kills creativity, stifles innovation, and erodes trust. And when your team feels like you don't trust them to handle their work, they'll stop taking initiative. They'll wait for you to give them every single instruction for every single small task, which not only frustrates them, but also overwhelms you. So instead, focus on leading, not controlling. Give your team the autonomy to do their jobs, but be clear about the outcome you expect. Think of yourself as a coach. Set the vision, provide guidance, and then step back to let them play the game. If they stumble, offer support, but resist the urge to jump in and take over. Mistake number 3 is the one that gets even experienced leaders, failing to delegate. Many new leaders fall into the trap of thinking it's faster if I just do it myself. But what's the result? Burnout. You become overwhelmed with so many tasks that should have been handled by your team, and worse, you rob them of growth opportunities. So delegation is a critical skill for leaders because it allows you to focus on the bigger picture while empowering your team to step up. But here's the thing. Delegation isn't just about offloading tasks. It's about delegating the right tasks to the right people based on their strengths and development needs. So here's how to avoid this mistake. When delegating, be specific that the outcome you expect, provide the necessary resources, and then let them run with it. And then of course check in periodically, but avoid the temptation to fix their work unless absolutely necessary, because this is going to build trust and help your team develop new skills, which ultimately strengthens the entire organization. Now, mistake number 4 is avoiding difficult conversations. No one likes confrontation, especially when you're new to leadership or a new role, and still trying to establish a role. But avoiding these tough conversations, whether it's about poor performance, or a conflict between team members, or even your own missteps, will only make things worse in the long run. So when you avoid addressing issues, they fester. And team members start to lose respect for you. And the problems aren't gonna magically disappear, they grow. It creates a toxic work environment where accountability is non-existent. Now, to avoid this pitfall, you need to lean into difficult conversations. Approach them with empathy and facts. And frame the conversation around solutions, not just a bunch of criticism. For example, instead of saying you're not performing well, say, hey, I've noticed a decline in your performance. Can you walk me through what's been going on recently and let me figure out how we can improve it together? It's not about tearing someone down. It's about course correction and making sure everybody is on the same page. And finally, mistake number 5, ignoring the importance of self-development. Many leaders fall into the trap of thinking, I've made it to leadership position, now I'm set. But leadership is not a destination, it's a journey. If you stop learning and evolving, you'll quickly find yourself outpaced by the challenges and changes in your organization. Leadership requires constant growth. So whether it's developing your communication skills or learning new management techniques or staying on top of industry trends, the best leaders are lifelong learners. They seek out feedback, attend workshops or conferences or read books, and they learn from their peers. So here's the actionable solution. Commit to ongoing self-development. Make time to read or attend seminars or even hire a leadership coach. Set specific goals for improving your leadership skills and seek feedback from your team to understand where you can improve. The more you grow, the better equipped you'll be to lead your team through these challenges. So let's recap the 5 common mistakes new leaders make trying to be everyone's friend, right? Micromanaging, failing to delegate, avoiding those difficult conversations, and neglecting that self-development. These are all natural pitfalls, but they don't have to define your leadership journey. So by recognizing and addressing these challenges head on, you can avoid the dark side of leadership and become the kind of leader your team can depend on. And remember, leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about learning, adapting, and growing alongside your team. And if this video helped you, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you want more insights into becoming a better leader, don't forget to subscribe. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.